This video will cover section 1.7 on what we call the chain rule. So the chain rule is a way of differentiating a composition of functions. So the objective of this section is to review how to find composition of two functions and then learn how to differentiate that type of a function using the chain rule. All right, so definition for a composed or composition of functions. The composed function f composed with, this little open circle here is the symbol for composed with g, meaning the composition of f and g is defined as f composed with g equals f of g of x. So basically in this situation, it means g of x is going to become the input into the function f of x. So for example 1, we're given f of x equals x to the third, g of x equals 1 plus x squared. We want to find f composed with g of x and g composed with f of x. The order in which you're composing two functions will matter. So in this first one, this means you're going to take g and plug it in for the x's in f. And for the second part, we're going to take the f function and plug that entire function in for the x's in the g function. So f composed with g of x, meaning f of g of x. So f of the g of x we're given was 1 plus x squared. So if I look at my function f and plug 1 plus x squared in place of the x's, f of x is x cubed. So instead of x cubed, we're plugging 1 plus x squared in for x. So it's 1 plus x squared cubed. And then this is the result if you were to FOIL that out. Write out 1 plus x squared times 1 plus x squared times 1 plus x squared, do all of the distributing and FOILing. You would get 1 plus 3x squared plus 3x to the fourth plus x to the sixth. The other direction of composition in this problem, g composed with f of x, meaning g of f of x. So this time we're going to do g of the function f, which is x cubed. So the x cubed is going to get plugged into the function g in place of all the x's. So g is 1 plus x squared, so we're going to get 1 plus x cubed squared, because the x cubed replaces x. And then this just simplifies to 1 plus x to the sixth. That's just a review of how composition works. All right, our chain rule. How do we find the derivative of a composition of functions, f composed with g? So our chain rule says the derivative with respect to x of f composed with g of x, or the derivative with respect to x of f of g of x, is found by taking the derivative of f, evaluating it at g, and then multiplying that result by the derivative of g. So it's the derivative of f, but we keep the g inside, and then we times that by the derivative of that inside function. So it's sort of identifying the inside and the outside. All right, most of the problems that we've encountered so far involve power rule. That was the main differentiation rule. So our chain rule applied to our power rule looks like this. G of x is any differentiable function of x. So that's basically, we have any function inside of a power. This is how our chain rule would get applied. The derivative of some function raised to the power. The outer function, or the f in the previous formula, would be our power rule. So the k would come down to the front, like it does in our power rule. This would stay where it is. G of x would stay on the inside. The new power would be 1 less. So that's applying our power rule to our g function. So that's the f prime of g times the derivative of g, times g prime. Okay, so let's try to do that for this example. F of x equals 1 plus x cubed, all to the 1/2 power. So we're going to start with our power rule using that power of a half. So the derivative with respect to x of 1 plus x cubed all to the 1/2, we bring down the 1/2. We leave all this inside. Our new power is 1/2 minus 1. It's 1 less than the original. But then we have to multiply that by the derivative of the inside function. So our inside function, this derivative is 0, and this derivative would be 3x squared, utilizing our power rule again. So when we clean this up, we've got a 3x squared, but over here we also have a half, so that can combine to be a coefficient of 3x squared over 2. This becomes 1 plus x cubed. This new power, 1/2 minus 1, is negative a half. And then further cleaning that up, the negative power moves this entire term to the denominator, 1 plus x cubed, all to the positive 1/2, and then the positive 1/2 power converts back to the square root. Otherwise, the 3x squared stays on top and the 2 stays on the bottom. All right, our next example, we're going to have to utilize our product rule because we're multiplying two functions, but also within taking the derivative of each function, we have to utilize the chain rule. So we're starting to see combinations of rules needed to be used together in the same problem. So you'll have to learn to recognize when that's necessary and know how to apply it correctly. All right, so combine product rule and your extended power rule or your chain rule. So the derivative becomes the first function, which is 3x minus 5 to the fourth, times the derivative of the second. So this whole thing right here is where our chain rule is coming in. So we're bringing down the 10 in the front, 7 minus x stays to the 1 less power, or 9, times the derivative of the inside, which is negative 1. So we've got, or within our product rule, remember, this is our first function times this all right here is the derivative of the second using the chain rule, plus this time we take the derivative of the first, which is 4, leave that inside to the third, times the inside derivative 3, they put that back here, times the second, right? So the second term of our product rule is our second function left alone, which is right here. And then otherwise that's getting multiplied by the derivative of this first function, which again utilizes your chain rule. So the 4 times all this to the third, right here, and then its inside derivative as part of that chain rule is this 3. So they kind of wrote it a little out of order, but it's all still there in the right form. All right, and then cleaning that up a little bit here. So what they've done here is basically, they didn't really show the steps, but to get all the way to here, so this plus sign means you have two terms. So notice there's a common factor of 3x minus 5 to the fourth here and a 3x minus 5 to the third, so that there's a common factor of 3x minus 5 to the third. There's also a common factor of 7 minus x to the 9th, because there's a 7 minus x to the 9th and a 7 minus x to the 10th. And you've got a 10 here and you've got a 4 here, so there's a common factor of 2. So this 2 times this is all a common factor being factored out. And then once you factor that out and then clean up the leftovers, that's where this other result comes from. All right, this next one is differentiating via quotient rule. So we have to use the quotient rule first, but as we have to take the derivative of the denominator, we will need to utilize the chain rule. So combine both quotient and chain rule. All right, so quotient rule says take the take the bottom function, 3x to the fourth plus 2 to the second, times the derivative of the top, minus the top function, 2x squared minus 1, times the derivative of the bottom, and then divide by the bottom squared. All right, so we leave this function alone. Derivative of 2x squared minus 1 is 4x, minus, then we have this function, times the derivative of this. This is where our chain rule comes in. You bring down the 2 in the front, you leave this alone to the first power, because this gets reduced by 1, and then you multiply that by the derivative of the inside, which would be, again, the power rule gives me a 12x to the third. We still have this denominator squared, so they've just cleaned up the exponents here. Squared squared makes that a fourth power. So this first term, they've just moved this to the front, 4x times 3x to the fourth plus 2 squared, minus this 2x squared minus 1. And then they've cleaned this up. So they've taken this 2 times the 12x cubed would be a 24x cubed, and distributed it through the parentheses. So 24 times 3 is 72. X cubed times x to the fourth is the x to the seventh. And then 24x cubed times the 2 is 48x cubed. So just distributing the 2 and the 12x cubed, leaving the bottom as is. And then this result comes from, if you were to expand this out, FOIL it, distribute the 4, expand this by FOIL, distribute the negative, and clean up your like terms. All that stuff you can do. It's time consuming, but to get to that form, you can do that part on your own. And then I think what happens after you do that from here, notice the bottom power became a 3, so you could probably factor out a copy of this 3x to the 4th plus 2. All right, our next example is y equals 2 plus the square root of u and u equals x cubed plus 1. So this is the Leveness version of the chain rule. So we're going to find, notice y is a function of u, but then u is a function of x. So if you were to replace the u right here with x cubed plus 1, this becomes composition. So if we have them written separately, this is the inside function, this is the outside function. We can find dy du, in other words, the derivative of y with respect to u. Du dx means the derivative of u with respect to x. And then there's a formula, we can put those two things together to find dy dx. Basically, if you find dy du and then you find du dx, if you multiply, the du's cancel and you end up with dy dx. All right, so dy du. This derivative is 0. This is u to the 1/2, so you bring down the 1/2, u to the negative 1/2. That's your power rule. Derivative of x cubed is 3x squared. Derivative of 1 is 0. All right, so you got dy du, which is this, and du dx, which is this. So if I want to find dy dx, we're going to multiply dy du times du dx. So this was dy du. 1 over, this moved to the bottom, made that power positive, or square root, times du dx. So we get 3x squared over 2 times the square root of x cubed plus 1. This is just an alternative way of, if I were to plug u in here first and then just doing the chain rule like we did on the last two examples, you would get straight to the same answer. So they both do the same thing. All right, let's try another one like that. For y equals u squared minus 3u and u equals 5t minus 1, find dy dt. So we could plug u in here and just do our chain rule, or we could find dy du, we could find du dt, and then we can multiply those together to get dy dt. All right, so dy du, derivative of y with respect to u is 2u to the first, or just 2u minus 3. Derivative of u is just 5. The derivative of this term is 5, the derivative of this term is 0. So dy dt, we multiply dy du by du dt. So 2u minus 3 times 5, which would be 10u minus 15. Or if you factor out never mind. Oh, sorry. 2u minus 15, they just plug in u. U was 5t minus 1. So 10 times the u, which was the 5t minus 1, minus the 15. So they're putting the answer back in terms of t, right? Because you're finding dy dt. So then 50t minus 10, just distributing the 10 minus 15 is 50t minus 25. So if you had just plugged in the u first into the function and then done your chain rule the way we did it on the first couple examples, you would get that same result. All right, so let's try another one here. Y equals u squared plus u and u equals x squared plus x, find dy dx. So we're going to start by finding dy du, then we're going to find du dx. So we're going to differentiate this with respect to u, differentiate this with respect to x, and then we'll multiply the results. So the derivative of y with respect to u, derivative of this function would be 2u to the first plus 1. Derivative of u with respect to x is 2x to the first plus 1 by your power rule. So now we find dy dx, remembering to substitute the x squared plus x in for u when we get to the end. So dy dx is dy du times du dx. So 2u plus 1 times 2x plus 1 But remember what u was. U was x squared plus x, so 2 times the u plus 1 plus 2x plus 1. We just plugged in the u. Distributing the 2 through here gives me 2x squared plus 2x plus the 1 times 2x plus 1. And it looks like they stopped there. They didn't FOIL that out. In my math lab, I'm not sure if they require you to simplify all the way through, or you can just get to a point where you're comfortable, with you've done the derivative part, you cleaned up the obvious things, and then you may be able just to stop there. All right, so the summary here, composition of functions with f and g is written f composed with g, meaning f of g of x. Okay, in general, if you reverse the order, f composed with g versus g composed with f, you do not get the same result. We use the chain rule to differentiate composition of functions. So if your function is defined as f of g, to find the derivative, we take f prime, the outer function's derivative, leaving g inside, and then multiplying that by the derivative of the inside. So mainly we're applying our extended power rule at this point to utilize our chain rule, which is derivative with respect to x of f of x to the k. Your power rule applies with the k, so it's k f of x to the k minus 1 times the derivative of the inside function, f prime. Right? So that is the end of section 1.7.